I know it would look like, Phil didn't make shots, but they were they were just really good defensively, really physical, um, long. Um, they did, they did a great job in ball screens, even with Jesse Govan, where they were uh, they were icing ball screens and really did a good job. It goes two ways. They got a little bit of foul trouble because of it, but they also kept Phil Booth out of it. So just a great game. Two really good teams, and I hope the next game against them gets snowed out. We don't have to play.
Yeah, you said at the beginning of the year that you really needed the sophomores to step up this year. Is this kind of what you were talking about when you got from Colin, Jermaine, and Demir today?
Yeah, it was interesting. I watched Georgetown's game against Xavier, and I saw Patrick's interview after the game, and he said, our young guys are growing up, and I kind of feel like our sophomores, for different reasons, are young guys, and they're really starting to step up. And we need it, and that's what a season is, By this point in the season, sophomores and freshmen are different. They're different than when they started the year, and I think ours are starting to get it.
Jay, the last couple games in this building, he held Powell to 3. Tonight, Covens doesn't score a field goal, and it's 2 for 11. Where is your defense at now relative to where it was at the beginning of the year?
It's getting better, Hoops. I thought we took a little step back against DePaul, and today this team offensively, they do a lot of good things well. Like you mentioned, they can win without Jesse Govan scoring big numbers, and they get to the foul line a lot. They shoot well from 3. They play at a high pace. So no matter what the numbers are, we did a lot of good things today against them because I think they're a really good offensive team.
Jay, can you talk about the way you guys were able to get more scoring, with, especially the way your three-point shooting was off today?
Well, I really credit Georgetown's defense. I really do. And, when you shoot a lot of threes, you're gonna have games like that. And you can't stop shooting, and you can't be afraid. That's our term: shoot 'em up, sleep in the streets. You can't be afraid to lose that way. And I think we just hung in there and kept shooting them until Colin really got hot. And then after he got hot, then Phil got it going a little bit. And I thought Joe Cremo got some good looks that he normally makes too. So we credit their defense, and also it's one of those nights.
It was a career high rebound.
Yeah,
Jay,
man.
What's the key to sort of managing the energy of him and Cosby?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Mike, is you got two guys that can play that spot, and that's exactly what we try to do. Is try to manage. When they start losing a little bit of energy, get the other one in. We're basically playing two guys at that one spot, and it's one of the things we learned about Demir. Is he can give you a good 3-4 minutes at a time, and then he kind of loses a little bit. We got to work on his conditioning, but those 3 or 4 he gives you really good, and Jermaine can go a little longer. But I thought they were really inspired playing against Jesse Govan, and I think they took on that challenge. I think they respect him. They know him from last year, and I think that was part of it too.
You did play the 3 of them together
Yeah.
a little bit with Pastor. What brought that up?
Just their size, and their ability to affect us on the offensive glass. And they were getting a lot of mismatches. They were getting our guards caught down low, and we're just trying to avoid that for a little while try to hold the fort down for a little bit with our size, and we're getting better at that. We did a good job against DePaul with that area, playing the Sadiq, either Eric's or Sadiq, and then Demir and Jermaine together.
Well, you saw that Akinjo was able to control the tempo until about 53 all in the second half. And would you rather him do that from a coach's perspective or get out on the break like he did in the first half?
I think what bodes well for Georgetown is they've got great balance. He can, and he's just one of them, but he can score in the open floor. He can push the pace, and then in half-court offense, he's really good in pick and roll too, and good in ISO. So, and they've got a lot of guys like that. And McClung's the same way. I think Jesse's become that way. Jesse can go up and down, and Pickett's that way. They have great balance. You can't come into this game saying you want to stop one guy. You know, they just get too much firepower. In a lot of ways, he does. You know, he's got that Northeast Philly mentality that I love. You know, it's a simple-minded, toughness, real clear head. You know, he looks at the world really simply. You know, do the right thing, give a great day's effort, be a good person. You know, it's about it. You know, and that's what he concentrates. That's why he plays. Be a good teammate. Those are the most important areas in our program, and that's where he's very similar to Arch.
Now we've had the Big East with all the change in the roles and everything like that. I mean, how surprised are you by that?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. You know, I don't. You know, we don't. When you ask me, I have to be honest, right? And then we'll just concentrate on the next game and see what we can do with the next one. But when you know, we really don't look back during the season, except at these times when we're asked. You got to answer an honest question. And these guys have come a long way, but we know how fragile it is. It's really fragile. I think you can see today, this team could have beat us easy today. We gutted it out, and we got to keep getting better.
How did you feel about Collins scoring 30? Like, do you feel like he had it in him?
Definitely. First game I saw him live in high school, he scored 41, and I thought he had about 22, you know, and I called the assistants afterwards. I said, yeah, he was really good. I said, he must have had like 22, 24. They said he had 41. I was like, wow, that was the quietest 41, but he looked good. I like him. So he has, even today, I would not have thought he had 30. He has a quiet way of doing it. It's really efficient, and I'm really proud of him.
So this has been a different arc that you've had to this team than your teams that have won titles. And I wonder whether you see this team as, now that you're in February, where you think it needs to be in order to reach the goals that you have commonly set for yourself with this program.
Yeah, like you know, none of our teams that won championships, whether the Big East championships or NCAA championships, I never really think they're going to be that until it's over. And then I look back and say, yeah, we were. Because we're just always just trying to be the best team we can be. And a lot of times sometimes you just have a better team that year. You know, you get to be the best team you can be, you run into a better team, you know. The year we lost to Wisconsin, you know, in second round, we were a great team. And they had a lot of old guys, and they were veterans. They were a great team. We just ran into them. But I was just as proud of that team, you know. So I'm really interested. I know this team has a great upside. I know we lack some experience, so I just want to see how far we can take this ride, and we'll just do it one game at a time.
An ISO back to back, Booth versus Kenjo. Was that because you saw a mismatch, or did you want to get Booth started, or both?
Booth had, I think it just hit one, and then so we were trying to keep him going, and they were just doing such a great job in pick and roll. We didn't want to bring another defender to him because they were soft blitzing him or downing them, and they had a really good game plan defensively.
What's it like to have Brunson in the house as an alum?
Intimidating. You know, I was worried. You know, we wanted him to have his senior day today, but I didn't want this team to be affected. He's a real legend in this program, and it's not because of Player of the Year. It's more how he conducted himself every day, and we refer to him a lot. So I didn't want the guys to get caught up in his. We wanted to do that for him because he missed his senior day. So what that was he didn't want to take away from the seniors on senior day, even though he knew he probably would leave, it wasn't his senior class. And the only thing his mom asked when she said he was coming back is, like, if he leaves early, could we do this? Could we still have senior day? Because we love senior day. So that was his senior day. And so it's intimidating to all of us, me too, because we all want to live up to how he played.
Jesse Devine has 6 scoreless games in his career. 3 of them have come against you guys. What about the way you approach guarding him works so well, or what do you attribute that to?
Well, I know it's different guys, you know. I thought today Jermaine and Demir just did a great job on him. I guess, I don't know what years it was, but I think, was it last year one? So I mean, there's different guys, right? Just great respect for him. You know, I know going into the game, I mean, he's a force. You know, even today he got at the end, they ran a great play to get him a 3 up top, and he was open. He got it. But I think maybe the work we had done before that, we sped him up a little bit. But he had one. He makes those. I thought that was going in.
So Patrick was just talking about after you and Marquette, there's this big block of everybody all jumbled up in the Big East. Is that a little surprising to see the separation with you two, especially when you see a team like Georgetown do what it does?
Yeah, it is. I'm interested to see how it ends up because we look at these teams. We could have lost to DePaul at home. We could have lost this game today. There's a lot of games. You know, we've been in a lot of close games, and everybody in the league has. So I don't. Even though it is that way, you are what your record is, right? But you look at the games are all really close. Everyone's a lot closer than that standings looks.
Colin, can you talk about your performance today?
I think I did a good job catching and shoot. Guys got me shots when I was off the ball, so it's really just playing off my jump shot and playing with confidence.
Colin, what kind of player is Ken Joe? You guys had a nice little battle for a while.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a quick guard, can create his own shot, gets teammates involved. He does a lot for his team, and he's only a freshman, so he's a great player, and it was fun to play against him.
Jermaine, what got into you today, man, that you got 16 rebounds on
I would just say that I was just trying to help out my teammates. You know, Georgetown has a lot of big guys who crash the glass, and I wanted to make sure, I set the tone for my teammates and grab as many rebounds as I could.
Jermaine, talk about closing the space on Govan. You made him very uncomfortable, whether in the paint or out. You didn't give him much room to move at all.
I just wanted to be physical as much as I can within the rules and just, play him straight up and make things difficult for him.
You guys, it's a tie game, and then you go, I think it was 17-2 or something like that. How much of that is having been there and knowing how to handle these kind of games?
It comes with experience. Having Phil and E on our team, it really helps. Those guys have been in tough games throughout their careers. So it's just a learning experience for us. We're trying to grow as much as we can every day.
Colin, Jermaine, obviously Jalen meant a lot to this program. What do you say is the one biggest thing you took away from him?
His leadership and his work ethic. I was his roommate, and like the times that you would see him going back into the gym after we just finished practice. So definitely his work ethic and his leadership.
I say for me, the killer instinct. Every practice, every time he stepped in the gym, every time he stepped in the weight room, it was work. And off the court, he took it very serious too, schoolwork. So, I look up to that guy a lot.
Colin, how much did Boost threes in the second half spark you guys? 53 all. I think he might have went back-to-back, almost back-to-back to threes. Gave you a little distance.
Yeah, I mean, we have confidence in him. He was struggling early on, but we're going back to him. And I told him keep shooting in the second half. Shots, some days it's not going to be your night, but we told him to just keep shooting the ball.
How comfortable were you with the basket today? Because it seemed like almost every shot you did you hit made it. Winning.
Yeah, just playing with confidence. Like I said, catching the shoot. Guys were finding me when I was off the ball, so just playing off my jump shot.
Where have you guys made the biggest strides since you lost your fourth game of the year and you've pretty much been rolling since then?
On the defensive end, we've really tried to lock in on defending and rebounding as a team. And I think we've done a pretty good job over the past couple games, but like I said, we're still looking to get better.
Coach, from a coaching perspective, what adjustments do you guys have to make going into playing Creighton later this week?
I can't honestly tell you yet. Well, one of the things is that both these teams play fast. I think our transition defense we got to work on a little bit. That's what I remember the most about them. I gotta go watch a game film. I'm so locked into this one. I'm sorry.
Dennis Rodman, have you seen anybody get 16 rebounds in one shot?
Have we had anybody? Is that a record here or something? That's a hell of a performance. He even I thought he passed up one at the end. He made a couple great passes that he had good shots, but he got his teammates great shots. I mean, that was a big time game. I think we measure efficiency. I haven't seen the finals yet, but I got to think he was the most efficient player on the floor for us.
having your young players.
His plus minus was 16. It was the best.
Jay, having your young players play the way you have schooled your program to perform, what does that say, you think, about the permanence about what you have built here, what the culture is, that people are picking it up so quickly and they're going over 10 years now?
Well, I appreciate that about culture, but it's really a product of the character of the guys and the talent of the guys we get. For whatever reason, I don't know why, like, our guys don't get as much hype, but we have really good players. We really do. I mean, they're really talented players, but they're really coachable. You know, they come in and they say, all right, I was a great player in high school, and all right, tell me, how do I do it here? You know, as opposed to coming in and saying, I was a great player in high school, all right, fit me in. This is what I do. And I think the guys that came before them tell them that. They know it. You know, we have recruits here today. They're already committed for next year. They're hearing in the locker room how we talk, how these guys talk. Jalen talked to the team. They're hearing that. So they start to understand, you know, when I come here, I want to listen and learn. And it's really their character, you know. It's a rare quality these days to have guys that will listen and let you coach them.
As an opposing coach, how much growth have you seen out of Georgetown within the last 4 or 5 games?
I even think last year through the season, the team they were in the beginning of the year, the team they were at the end, you know, I told Patrick that's coaching. You know, they were really a good team by the end. And then this year you can see they've got older guys that are coming off the bench that are buying in. They got young guys that are talented, that are being coached. They're in a good place. I don't want them to be too good, but they're in a real good place.
Coach, how do you feel about, you know, Brian Antoine and Eric Dixon coming in for next season, and basically, like, what's your pitch that you would make for recruits coming to Villanova?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, to be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. Yeah, they're here today, so we're happy. Let me say, we're very happy to have them. But, you know, but they're going to have to learn from these guys, you know, and these guys know they were the same guys. You know, they were the same guys a couple years ago.
How much did you know Ryan or Subiac know it? How much did he help you? While you gave it all after him?
I try to take pieces of his game, but I didn't really know him personally. I grew up with a lot of his cousins. I went to high school with his cousins, so I know their family pretty well. But yeah, just trying to. His toughness is something that not a lot of people have in them, so I try to be as tough as I can on and off the floor.
Samuel, talk about the development of Bay. How's he coming along as a player, and what kind of lessons have you imparted upon him?
Just continuing to play with confidence. You know, we're together almost every day, and so I see all the work he puts in on the court when we're not supposed to be in there. And he just keeps grinding and grinding, and he, keeps building up his basketball IQ, and he keeps gaining more and more confidence the more he plays.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
What do you got to say, Jay?